It's just going to get better, isn't it? What did I need to say? We're just going to kick off again with
next session.
Yeah, let's have another song, yeah.
Will you do it next session?
You what? Oh dear. No, that isn't the next session. That's not. That might be what he did on the weekend, but it's not what we do. Louisa's just on the way, so she's going to get the food on for us, so she'll be to and fro a little bit at the back. But that's okay, isn't it? And then the rest will be arriving later on. I know what I wanted to say. Is that this, of course, it's a free conference, isn't it? It's a free event, and food's free and whatever. But there is an offering bag at the back, at the back of the PA system there. And anything put in there will go toward David Katende's ministry in Uganda. And bear in mind that £10 here goes £50 in Uganda. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, goes a lot further there, doesn't it? The English one, yeah. So I just forgot to mention that earlier on. Let's get going. Let's get cracking. Carry on.
Do you want one song or do you want?
Just
carry on till whatever.
No, we're just going to have to. We need to be finished this session at 5. So.
Do we?
Yeah.
Right. Hour and a quarter. Well, he spoke hour and a half. The first one I better not start at this.
So we'll just have a song to get us warmed up again. Come on, guys. Let's worship God.
I stand amazed in the presence of Jesus the Nazarene, and wonder how he could love me, a sinner, condemned and clean. How marvelous, how wonderful, and my song shall ever be. How marvelous, how wonderful is my Savior's love for me. He took my sins and my sorrow, he made them his very own. He bore the burden to Calvary and suffered and died alone. How marvelous, how wonderful, and my song shall ever be. How marvelous, how wonderful is my Savior's love for me. When with the ransomed glory his face I at last shall see, 'twill be my joy through the ages to sing of his love for me. How marvelous, how wonderful, and my song shall ever be. How marvelous, how wonderful is my Savior's love for me. How marvelous, how wonderful, and my song shall ever be. How marvelous, how wonderful is my Savior's love for me. Jesus Christ is the Lord of all the earth. Jesus Christ is the Lord of all the earth. Jesus Christ is the Lord of all the earth. Jesus Christ is the Lord of all the earth. Only one God over the nation, only one Lord of all. To no other name is there salvation. Jesus is Lord. Jesus Christ is the Lord of all the earth. Jesus Christ is the Lord of all the earth. Jesus Christ is the Lord of all the earth. Jesus Christ is the Lord of all the earth. Only one God over the nation, only one Lord of all. In no other name salvation. Jesus is Lord. Jesus Christ is Lord of all, Lord of all the earth. Jesus Christ is Lord of all, Lord of all the earth. Jesus Christ is Lord of all, Lord of all the earth. Jesus Christ is Lord of all, Lord of all the earth. Jesus, we celebrate your victory. Jesus, we revel in your love. Jesus, we rejoice you set us free. Jesus, your death has brought us life. It was the freedom of Christ that set us free. No longer to be subject to yoke of slavery. So we're rejoicing in God's victory. Our hearts responding to His love. Jesus, we celebrate your victory. Jesus, we revel in your love. Jesus, we rejoice you set us free. Jesus, your death that brought us life. His Spirit in us releases us glory. The way to Him is open. We're born to draw near. And in His presence, our problems disappear. Our hearts responding to His love. Jesus, we celebrate your victory. Jesus, we revel in your love. Jesus, we rejoice you set us free. Jesus, your death has brought us. Jesus, your death has brought us. Jesus, your death has brought us life. Woo! Praise God. One ended up as three, is that alright, Nigel?
Yeah, you got 3 and 1.
Alright. I did stop at
3 for the price of 1 now.
3 and 1.
Yes. 3 and 1. Holy Spirit, Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Okay. I will come back.
Thank you for the break and the provisions given. I think now we are ready to go to the Potter's house and see what the Lord has for us.
Amen.
We all need to be remolded. We now understand that God has not given up on us. People can give up on you. The world system can give up on you. But God, the greatest, has not given up on you. That is very important. I know we have all messed up our lives, but that's not the end of the world. There's still great opportunity for us to stand again. I just like the way God believes in us. Sometimes He believes in us even though we don't believe in Him. Do you understand that? Sometimes, God, are you there for me? I don't believe in you. But He says, okay, it's all right, but I believe in you. And one time we discover who He is, and then He uses us. So let us be the vessels. Now, the last note ended on the last session was about contributing to the grave, the riches of the grave. Make sure you don't contribute the riches of the grave. Because many people have gone there, they have been so lazy. Recently, the Lord has been teaching me about faith. And we need to use our faith. And you have to trust in God so that He can use our gifts. He can use us. Because He created you for a purpose, and that purpose must come to pass. Father in heaven, I want to thank you this afternoon. Thank you for another opportunity you've given us in your presence. These are the men that have come before you. We've come before you because you know we've messed up our lives, and Even though we try hard, we still need your touch. We need constant remolding so that we can fit in your will, so that your will can be done. We don't want to be buried with the riches that you gave us from the beginning of the earth. We pray that they will come out after you've remolded our lives. And this moment, Holy Spirit be with us. And as we come to you for healing, heal us and make us whole. In Jesus' name. Amen. So, yes, we came to that note that we should not contribute to the suffering. To the riches of the grave. I'm going to rob the grave of my riches by working hard, but not wasting my life. I think we've wasted enough of our lives. I can no longer afford wasting more of my time doing things that do not matter. I've seen people dying. I'll share that probably in the next session. But I've seen people die. Being a pastor, people will call you to in hospital, in their homes, and say, Pastor, come. Somebody, my brother's dying. My husband, my wife, come and say the last prayers. Come and do something. Come and pray that they may revive. So I've been to these places and to these scenes many times, and I've seen people really struggling with their last breath, and I've seen them crying for the opportunity to be used of God again. They want to come back, so that I've seen them pledging the Lord, when you bring me back, when you give me another chance. I've seen God give them some, very few, I've seen few getting another chance, but many people die. And they're crying for that chance, but they've had all this chance through their lives, and they never utilized it. And then in the end, they think it is important, and yet they no longer have time to do that. So why don't you serve the Lord when you can? I know the Lord doesn't make sense, especially in the world we are living in, where we have a lot of these distractions, television and social media, all these good things coming out for us to see. They're so entertaining. We see all these things, and the world is so instant. Everything's too fast. And when you come to church, we tell you, wait upon the Lord. Who wants to wait? Nobody wants to wait. Your computer delays just like that. Then you upgrade it because you don't have time to wait. We are living in this microwave situation. Everything must be instant, but God is not instant. God is not a machine. And we are not going to operate him like a machine. He's a father. He has a personality. I don't think he's been sharing me with, about his family. I don't think you would like to see your child rushing, coming to you and rushing. He doesn't have time for you. As a father, you want to sit down with children. You don't want to operate your children like a computer. You don't want your children to treat you like a computer. You want that conversation. So is God. He wants your time. He wants us to come and stay in his presence. Just like we've come today, set a time apart. He loves that. He comes and speaks to us. And we speak to him. We pray and say, Lord, we need this. Can you do this for us? We want this. That kind of conversation, that kind of relationship. But then, we are so taken away by the world, which is too fast, that it's making us crazy. Life is becoming virtue. It's no longer the life we used to live. I pity these young ones, because the world they're living in is so fast, it's so unrealistic, it's so unreal. He can have a friend in Japan without even meeting. We used to have friendship on the village together and play together, but now they can play on a computer. They don't have to live in the same neighborhood, and that's so not real. And when they come out, they have to face the real life, and then they don't know how to handle the reality of life. But anyway, we need to slow down a little bit so that we can catch up with God. Not because God is slow, but He's so real. What the world is offering to us is not real. We need to slow down a little bit. Life demands the Lord to work so much that we don't have time for our families, to talk to our children. We spend a lot of time on sports, watching football and a lot of things, and we forget the most important thing in life, which is family. Now, God is the most important institution on earth, is family. We need to give it time. We need to give it time, and we need to embrace that. I'll share that more in the evening when the women are here, so that we can all understand. Very important. Now, one of the things I've heard people saying on their deathbed, the very thing they want to see when they're dying is their families. You hear a father say, "Where are my children? Where are my wife? Can I see them?" You don't see them. You don't hear them say, "Can you take me to the garage and sit in my limousine for one more time before I die?" You can't hear Trevor say, "Can you bring my guitar so I play it for the last time before?" He'll be craving to see his wife or children to be around. And you hear them confessing God at that last moment. And I'm looking and I'm studying and making my notes. I said, oh, if you knew that your family was important, you would have loved it when you still had time. But now it's too late. I've seen people being abandoned, their children abandoned their father on their deathbed because he was not there for them. So as we talk about remolding and coming back to the spinning wheel of the potter, we need to come back so that we can be good fathers, good husbands, good men, good citizens, people that will be used of God. We must honor the institution called family. As we heal, our families will be healed. When the man is healed, the whole family will be healed. When the man is sick, everybody will be sick. When the man is troubled, everybody will be troubled. I know the world is trying to talk to women to tell them that they can be okay independently, but that's not true. We are social creatures. Women need men and men need women. We need to live together in good harmony. And we cannot exchange our roles. We cannot exchange our responsibilities. When the Bible says the man is the head, we're the head. Women will never be the head. I know the world is changing it. Because you can make it, you can live alone, you can be happy, you can stay alone in your house and be happy with your children or something like that. But that's not true. Those are lies. Because at the end of the day, they are miserable. Because God created that their joy will be fulfilled when they're with their husbands. You know what I mean? Now, let me tell you your position as we continue. If we don't get healed, families will be healed, will not be healed. When we don't get remolded and turned into the men that God wants us to be, then families will continue to break. And that's what the enemy is targeting. Let me tell you something. Have you had these things done in hospitals, heart transfer? They are able now to transfer the heart. Okay? Those organs, those important organs, the kidney can be transferable. They can transfer all sorts of things. But there's one thing they cannot transfer. They cannot transfer a head. You cannot transfer your head. Because my brother here is really, I will transfer my head to him. No. So men are not transferable. Our responsibilities, our positions are not transferable. We are the head, the Bible says that, and we are not transferable. So you better check. So when you get sick, when the head gets sick, the brain cannot communicate, the eyes cannot see, you cannot feel, you cannot sense, you cannot do anything, then families will be in trouble. That's why the enemy is looking for us. That's why the enemy doesn't want us to go back into God's presence so that he can remold us. So to any sensible man would desire to go back before the Lord and say, Lord, what do you want me to be? What do you want me to do for you? Prepare me, Lord. Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and worthy, tried and true, so that you can use me. Amen? Mm-hmm. Yes, your position is non-transferable. They can transfer other things, but not the man. The man is non-transferable. So we need to understand that and work upon it. Right. Thank you, Jesus. So we were talking about how the world breaks everyone, and afterwards men are strong in the broken places. I want you to be strong in the broken places. Don't be preoccupied by the things you did and things that you failed in life. Use those places to become strong. Make it a testimony, and begin to use it to help people. If you look at Moses wrote about, he's the one that wrote the 5 books of the Old Testament. part of Deuteronomy. But you realize that he wrote about his mother. If he's the one that wrote those 5 books, then he wrote about all the things he did. So he was able to use the very things that he failed in to write them down for us, so that so that we can be helped. In other words, show those broken places where you've been really got wrong, where you got it wrong, and use those broken places that have been healed to help other people. Okay? So repair requires transformation. That's why the Bible says in Romans 12 that be ye transformed. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. We need to work on our mind. There's nothing powerful as a changed mind. If there's anything, we are going to take the spinning wheel of our potter, our Lord God. We need to take our mind so that we really get transformed. Now, the word transformation there, when you read Jeremiah the 18, verse 1 to 6, when this thing marred, when it got broken in his hands, he made the same clay, made it into another vessel as he wanted, as he desired. So that was total transformation. Now the biological word, that the Hebrew word we use in Romans 12, that be transformed, because we need total transformation, be changed totally into something different, is the word metamorpho, where we get the biological word metamorphosis. And this is the stages, the different stages that a fly or butterfly go through to become an adult. But when you look at these stages, when this creature is metamorphosing, it becomes different. Totally different. From larva to, do you still remember biology? Pupa, then caterpillar, and then butterfly. It is believed by scientists, biologists, that when this creature is metamorphosing, especially from caterpillar to butterfly, it is the most painful season for it. When you have seen cocoons somewhere in the corners, and the caterpillar literally dissolves. Everything dissolves within it. And you think it's finished. You think it is dead, yet it's not. It is just part of the process. And then, eventually, the dissolved material builds up into other organs to become a butterfly. But it's also believed, much as it is so painful, that you should not help the caterpillar when it's breaking the cocoon. It's just like helping a chick when it's coming out of the egg. If you ever help it come out, you kill it. So the process has to finish. Then it gets into that total transformation. It metamorphoses into something great, something, beautiful. You look at butterflies and they're colorful. We have many in Africa. They're very beautiful and they fly around. And then children like them. Children hate caterpillars, but they love butterflies, not knowing that it's just an adult. It's just another caterpillar in a different way. So the thing is, when you got the spinning wheel of the Lord, as men, let us dissolve. Let us go there and dissolve. That's why God is able to see David as a different man, because he dissolves. He said, Lord, I don't know what I've done. I don't know where it came from. It says from mother's womb, out of iniquity I was born. I've been born into this iniquity. It has been following me. But Lord, I'm dissolving before you. I'm dissolving before you. Help me. Give me a clean heart. Don't give me patches. Don't patch my heart. But give me a clean heart. Give me a new heart. He says, create in me. Now, the word create there is the same word the Bible uses in the beginning, that in the beginning God created heaven and earth. Out of nothing. He says, Lord, don't even repair this one. Create in me a clean heart. Then it dissolves. And then after that, total repentance, that total repentance can dissolve our lives, and then God will be able to see us as different people. And then will give us another beginning. Amen? Amen. It is so important that today, as we come into this session, we need to come to the Lord and tell Him, Lord, I'm dissolving before you. Take away everything that has been, causing me to crack down. Then we can pick up our broken parts, fill them with gold, which is God's grace, and make them beautiful. Amen? Now, these are some of the weapons of self-destruction. Shame. We've been through shame. The things we've done have given us shame. Uncontrolled thoughts. You cannot just control your thoughts. You are always thinking, I think I'm going to fail. I think I'm going to be this. I don't think I'm going to get any better. I don't think I'm improving. Uncontrolled thoughts must stop. The thoughts. How do you stop that? First of all, you have to, because there are two forces that we have, that God has given us. God has given us the power to forget. By the way, we can forget, but He has also given us the power to remember. Have you heard people say, forgive and forget? But how can you forget when you have the power to remember? Those are not easy things. Now, the things that we committed, you may say, I want to forget them, but I'm still remembering them. Now, those two confused me really, and I went before the Lord. Then the Spirit of the Lord was teaching me. Now, the Spirit of the Lord taught me this and said, now create new history. Begin to do new things, that the old will get drowned in the new history. You know what I mean? If you don't create new things in your life, when you don't take new steps, when you don't take new responsibilities, when you don't take your life anywhere, then the old will always hold you back. But when you create new life, make new steps, then the old steps, the past will be drowned in this new life. So make sure you control your thoughts. Don't think so negative, because thoughts are such powerful things. The thoughts are in the mind. They're in the mind, they focus, and when you think over something over and over, because you have two kind of minds. We have one, the conscious mind. The conscious mind is where we all see things, hear things, and do things. But when you watch things over and over, you think about things over and over, this is what happens. They get downloaded. I can use the word download into the subconscious. The subconscious mind. And what is the subconscious mind? The subconscious mind is the heart. Now, after you've downloaded these things into your heart, then you don't have to see again, because they are now already there. The fire is already there. That's why you dream about things you used to do, because you've been thinking about them so much. You've been thinking about them so much. And now you say, but I've been to church. I've not thought about this for a week. Why did I end up dreaming these things? Because now the fires are there. So avoid uncontrolled thoughts, endless bad thoughts, because they will get downloaded and they will defile you. That's why the Bible says, out of the heart come all sorts of evil, because you've downloaded all things there. Begin to have new thoughts. Read your Bible. Come and listen listen to the word of God like here. Come on Sunday. Come whenever there is service. Listen to a Christian song. Avoid all things that will take you back to the old life, where you'll be cracked. We will crack again. So you need to create a new future, so that the old will get drowned in this. Fear is something very dangerous. Fear, if you take it as an acronym, you know an acronym, you understand what I mean? Yeah, sometimes the way I pronounce things. So acronym. Fear is false evidence appearing real. So when you have fear is the greatest weapon from the devil. If you look at David fighting Goliath, this is what happens at the battle. Goliath is there. You see, Goliath is not... I've studied about Goliath, but it's not such a scary thing if you really study about Goliath. But this is Goliath. Let me tell you who Goliath is. Because he's false. He was creating fear because he's false. If Goliath was a champion, a true champion and a true fighter, why is he making noise for 40 days? Because if a strong man, come and do something, finish it. 40 days. He had some incapacities, but he was looking so real. Because who is a giant? This is the book I've written. Who is a giant? A giant is anything that bigger than you, scares you to death. So he came every morning and said, I'm going to make you my servants. You are finished. You are nothing. So that was in the morning. So they spent the whole day in fear. And in the evening, before they went to bed, he came back. You are nothing. I'm going to kill you. You are going to become my slaves. So they went to bed in fear. 40 days, 40 nights. And they could not do anything. Fear. Now they are not fighting Goliath alone. They are also fighting another giant called fear. So they have two giants. Goliath is there physically, but he has cast fear unto them. And they are all trembling. They think they can never be anything. This is what the enemy, whispers to us. Even though you are hearing this message, I know for you, you are beyond repair. You will not recover from what you've done. You will not recover. Let me tell you, you will recover. The devil is a liar. He's been telling lies about you. You can recover, you can be bread, you can become bread. And some of you think, okay, now, I'm no longer smoking, I'm no longer smoking weed, I'm not drinking, I'm not doing all these things. I think now the Lord has helped me. Now, there's another step that you are also missing. There's one of the tricks that the enemy will do is that better becomes an enemy of good, or good becomes an enemy of better. I think how is it? Because when you're at certain level, you think, okay, I'm not as bad as the other. But the point is, that's not the highest level you can achieve. So I'm not saying these things because you are cracked and all that, because it doesn't help to get healed or to get out of something without entering into something. You know what I mean? To come out of something without entering into anything, that doesn't help. As a matter of fact, you always go back. That's why when Israel comes out of Egypt, they must enter into the promised land. If they come out and stay in the desert, it's death. So thank you for coming out. Maybe you're on a certain level, but that's not the better place you must be on. You have to move on. There are other levels you must come to. And every level it requires you to go back to the wheel so that you are built, you are given the mechanism, the strength to manage the next level. Now, I've been fighting. I used to fight demons that attack my family because family is attacked. You know that families have been attacked. But then God gave me the responsibility to lead a church. Then I had to be trained. I've been through training, hard training. If you are a leader, church leader, you know what I mean. Then from there, now I've been given to lead a province, over 1,000 churches. Now I'm leading these controversial pastors. The most difficult people to control are the pastors, because everybody's anointed, everybody's called. What are you talking about? What did the Lord tell you? What do you think you are? You think the Lord speaks to you? We are also leaders. They are not easy people. But God has given that responsibility. But I have to go back to the wheel, and I'm already there now. I know the Lord is spinning me and training me and taking me through things to be able to handle that level. And somebody prophesied, maybe you're going to become the national leader of the fellowship. Oh my God. I need to be trained. I need to be ready for the next level all the time. You know what I mean? So fight fear. Because fear will tell you, no, don't go that level. No, you're okay there, you're okay there. But that's not, you have not reached your full potential. Rise up and, and work on your full potential. But the spinning wheel, the potter will help you to build and put in materials and, and things that we glue, they glue together. And you'll be able to handle the next level. Now Goliath is casting fear unto them. So they're fighting now two giants, Goliath and fear itself. They wake up in fear, they sleep in fear. But David, a man who has been trained to, past his level, he came. If you read a fighter if Goliath was really a fighter like David is the real fighter. He came one day on the battle because he has been on spinning wheel. He has been trained to fight lions and bears and protect the sheep. Now we can protect Israel. He took the ownership of Israel, just like he took the ownership of his father's, sheep. He said, I was tending to my father's sheep, which means the sheep was not his, was his father's sheep. Then I fought. I gave my life for the lamb, and fought for the lamb, fought the lion, and fought the bear. Now who is this? Now, as he was saying that, Goliath came and threatened them, cast fear. David heard him once. He did not hear him the next day. The whole of Israel listened to him for 40 days, 40 nights. One fighter who has been a spinning wheel and knows the Lord. He has had the potter's touch. Had him once. If you look at Goliath and study him carefully, there is a disease called acromegaly. Acromegaly is a disease of the brain. It causes people to grow up normal, taller and big. And because it's the brain, if you go and look for that on the internet, then it suppresses some organs, and therefore people normally, those extraordinarily big people, you know them, they run extraordinarily, they have visual impairment. So was Goliath. If you read chapter 17, 1 Samuel 17, verse, I think 40, David picks up his stick, his staff, but then in verse 43, Goliath says, because he cannot see properly, he was just a monster, he used to scare people, but he wasn't real. He wasn't really a fighter. The battle he has won, he just scared people and they gave in. He had not fought. He was visually impaired. That's why in verse 43, from verse 40, the Bible says David picked his stick. Then in verse 43, Goliath sees sticks. See, you can't move the sticks because he's visually impaired. He sees sticks. And the man bearing his armor wasn't really bearing his armor. Now we can study the things. He was guiding him because he couldn't see. He was just guiding him. Be careful, there's a stone there. The only thing he had was shout. Now fear will shout things in your ears. And then you think Goliath is true. I cannot become anything. I don't think God can use me. If God is going to anoint people, please, David, tell the young people, I don't think he's going to anoint me. It's fear. Fear is shouting and it's creating fear in you. And you think I cannot become anything. That fear is not true. The Lord has given you life to live so that He can use you. That you can be used. That you can be used by His hand, by His anointing, so that we can be useful in the kingdom. But it looks like we are too weak to do anything. But I want to charge you that we really wake up so that we can do great things. Amen? Amen. So fear, hopelessness, bitterness, insecurity. Those are some of the things that will destroy you. Don't allow them. When you go there, allow the Lord to remove all the things, all those debris. Those are the debris that need to be removed as you go before the Lord. And He will help us. Yeah. That scripture is very important. The word which came to Jeremiah from the Lord saying, arise and go. Sometimes we know the time, but we need to arise and go down to the potter's house, and there I will cause you to hear my words. Then I went down to the potter's house, and there he was making something at the wheel, making something at the wheel. And the vessel that he made of clay was marred in hand of the potter. So he made it again into another vessel. I wonder, which means there's another part of you. That's what I see. There is another part of you that you have not seen. And that is the most amazing part of you. If you haven't been amazed, if you haven't seen that amazing part of you, then that means that part is still untouched. There is another part. Oh yeah. Saul has another part called Paul. He is a great apostle. Peter had another part. Now the first part of Peter, we see him as, that aggressive disciple. Who at the voice of this young girl denies Jesus 3 times. And he looks so fragile and helpless. But there's another part of Peter that you've not seen. After the resurrection of Jesus, Peter comes up with boldness. Now he has been metamorphosed. He has finished going on the wheel. And now he has been made into another person. Now he comes boldly. And when the authorities tried to stop him, he said, shall we fear you or fear God? Do whatever I want to do. And they couldn't do anything because now we can see another Peter, not the one that was fearful at just at the voice of this young girl. There is another part of you that you have not seen. Don't die without seeing that part. I think there's another part of me that I've not seen. There is that other part. So don't conclude yet. So he made it again into another vessel, as it seemed good to the potter to make. There is that other. What is other part? I wonder who you are. I wish the Lord can reveal to me who you are, and I tell you all, so that I can write it down for you, so that you go and follow that. But you don't have to wait for my writing. Go before the Lord and say, Lord, what do you want me to do? And it's going to come as a challenge. First those challenges. Because after that, you then will see another part. Because there is another part of you. There is another part of Moses. There is another part for David. After he had done all the crimes, there is another part. Tell your neighbor there is another part of you. Come on, turn to your neighbor and tell them there is another part. Because they need to hear. There is another part of you that you haven't seen. But let me tell you, it doesn't come, it doesn't show until you've been through this brokenness. You can't see it. It is after the falls you've made. It is after the cracks that you've been through. And now you can sit back. After your marriage has broken 7 times, there's a man I know who has, I think, divorced about 4 times, and is now thinking he can marry again. But I think he has been through a lot. Now when he speaks to young people, he tells them, there's another part of him now, he has seen the mistakes. I know the mistakes are because of him, not the ways he's been married. It is him. Because I sat with him the whole night. And he shared with me. And now he's very careful. So now he can be used. What is that other vessel? What is that other part of you? I think we can go back to the wheel after this brokenness and say, Lord, show us this other part. What can I do really? What can I do? Because I don't think, because I'm looking at the mind of the potter as he spins and works around the display. I wonder what goes in his mind. I don't know the excitement, the expectation of this vessel he's making. I think I'm going to send him into the nations. I think that he needs to be shaped like this. I think I need to strengthen him here because he has come before me. He has come before my working, spinning wheel. Now I need to protect him from, the desire, these strong, uncontrolled, strong desires. I need to put stronger clay there. Then I need to bend him here. I need to mold him like this. And when you come out, you can't stand anything. You can't stand anything. But if you haven't through the process, have you had great ministers of the gospel cracking? And you really wonder, how did this happen? I don't want to mention names because you know them. Those great television evangelists. And you wonder, is that debris? But even after that, God is not finished with them. He will still use them. I'm amazed by the constant, ever-increasing grace of God upon our lives, at all levels. We should be thankful to God. He said, He made it into another vessel. There is a return journey. Somebody say return journey. A return journey, yes. There's a return journey of your life. Write it down that I have it, for those who are writing. I have a return journey. Now, I don't know which way you've come up to where you are. You've come a long way to where you are. And now we are going to the potter's house. It's a little nervous, to get there because you don't know how it's going to break you and mold you and, you don't know the trials. Are you going to make it? But after He has made you, after He has built you, after He has put in, the gold, purchase and become so precious, the grace of God has covered you, then there's that return journey. When you come, now when Moses comes out of the desert, You don't joke with him. He has finished his training. He has a return. He's going back. But where the Lord is sending him, there are still posters Moses wanted, because he left when he had killed somebody. So Moses wanted, whoever sees him, there's a prize of $10,000 or pounds. God says, go back now. You manage everything. So Moses comes back to the returning journey. He has now been molded into another man and to another vessel. And he approaches Pharaoh. But then he had to do some rehearsals. Put your stuff down. Became a snake. Hold it. Back to the stuff. Put your hand in the pocket. Bring it out. Leprosy. Take it back. Now he's seeing miracles by himself. Nobody is seeing these miracles. Because after you have been molded, miracles will begin to happen in your house. Healing will begin to occur from your very house. We have young men coming to our meetings in Uganda. These are young families. But now, they are telling us how their families are already healing. They are not pastors, they are not apostles, they are not prophets, but healing has started. Healing started within my house. I was also cracked. My family was cracking. I think cracked soon after our wedding. The first 3 years with my wife, hell. I thought I'd married a demon, and my wife thought I'd married an evil spirit. So we didn't know. I didn't know how to handle my wife. She didn't know how to handle me. And make matters worse, she became pregnant immediately, and all the attention went to the pregnancy. And I was there looking. Why did I marry? What on earth did I marry? And then the next year, she gave birth to Rebecca, and all the attention went to Rebecca. I didn't know how to handle these things. Family became hell. Oh my God. But the Lord took me the spinning wheel and changed my life. So Moses comes back, a changed man. And he saw the miracle. I've seen miracles in my own family. You need miracles in your family. After this conference, after this meeting, I want the Lord to begin healing your own family. Some of you, there's another conference I went to, and there was a bishop preaching and said, "Is there any pastor's wife? Any non-believer here? You have your spouse is a non-believer. I want to pray for you so the Lord may really visit your spouses so that they can be Christians." Now his wife, the wife of the bishop, raised his hand, her hand, I said, "You don't understand." I say those who have spouses that are non-believers. The wife raised the hand and said, "My wife, you don't understand." I said, "Okay, I'm going to ask again. Please, don't, because you're not supposed to be. I'm a believer, I'm a bishop." Anybody like that? The wife put up the hand. And then there we had to have a meeting. The wife is saying he's not a Christian. All he's displaying is falsehood. I know what's happened in our house. And if I can't get healed in this meeting, I'll never be healed. Stable stuff that we had from her. And we had to sit down with the bishop. And then we came back. We didn't know what the bishop was thinking. But when we came back to the afternoon meeting, session, the bishop came out, repented of himself, knelt down before his wife, and asked for forgiveness in front of everybody. I think I have pictures somewhere on my iPad. So we need healing. Miracles to begin in our homes. It's no time to say, "Okay, David Katende, you are wonderful, you are so and so. I need healing in my home." It will begin in your home. Moses started to see the miracles of a changed man in the desert when nobody was watching. Miracles started to occur. By the time he came back to Pharaoh, he could do extraordinary things. And he was able to bring up the children of Israel. He said, "Lord, you cannot send me back. Look at Aaron." I'm bringing all these examples so that you may understand. Aaron, the failed priest, he's newly commissioned to be the priest to this newly born nation. So they've come out, they've reached the desert. Moses has gone to have lunch with God somewhere. for some days, good days, 40 days, and he's left in church, the children of Israel to Aaron. Is your name Aaron? Oh yes. Aaron, the Bible was a big failure to begin with. He failed God, he failed Moses. So when Moses returned, he has turned the whole nation, because they are dancing naked. They're like strippers. They're dancing stripper kind of dance. You know what I mean? What a failed priest. And Moses looked at Aaron and couldn't believe what he was looking at. But yet, God made him the high priest up to date of Israel. The Levites. Aaron remained the intercessor. Because there's always that journey, the first journey, that always ends up in failure. But after touching the potters, after getting the potter's touch, there will be a return journey. Say amen. Amen. Everybody say, I have a return journey. Yeah, and you'll be a different person. A return journey. Get ready for that. Amen. And then the word of the Lord came to me saying, O house of Israel, can I not do with you as this potter? What do you think, if the potter can do that, can't I change Israel? Can't I help your family? Can't I really transform you? I can transform you. He said, look, says the Lord, look as the clay is in the potter's hand, so are you in my hand, O house of Katende. Everybody say your house. O house of? Come on, everybody say your house. O house of? Oh yes. Oh yes. Yeah. It is that easy. It is difficult for everybody. It's difficult. I've seen God transforming people. Last time, it's Johnny. I think Johnny was there. Yeah. He's now gone out. But Idi Amin's son, you know Idi Amin, one of those icons in the Islamic world. So his son became a Christian. And he comes to my church once in a while. I'm mentoring him and growing him. He's Muslim. If they discover that he became a Christian and is coming to my church, I will be killed. Because Idi Amin is an icon in the Islamic world, one of those world dictators. So he comes to my church and he's there. His family is suffering. And when Nigel, our pastor, was there, so Pastor Joseph was preaching and I was preaching. But he says, this is the way he sat. And this is what he said. He said, oh my God. So he's there thinking. So he sat and he was doing this. And he was doing it physically, but he was also going the spirit. Because he said, after that, he said, what were I doing? Because at the end of the day, he ended up almost on the floor. And said, as you've been preaching, things have been happening and the Lord is transforming. And I'm sinking into his hands as you are preaching. And, and his family is totally changed because he's totally healed of the things that he was suffering. So after that conference, he had a return journey. When he returned home, he told me everything changed in his home. And now his wife sees him as a changed man. And his children says now they see me as a changed man. You have a return journey of after transformation. Praise the Lord. Now we are going to pray very soon. But you can see all these people see Adam, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. They all had trouble in their lives. Moses a murderer. You remember Jacob what he did, and Aaron, just turned into strippers. David, we've talked about. Peter, we've talked about Peter. Saul, and then you and I. All these and others in the Bible, they made terrible mistakes in their lives, but they're restored. If God restated it, if He changed and restored Adam, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Moses, Aaron, David, Peter, Saul, how about you and I? You think God has forgotten? You think He's short of power now? I know our hands are shorter and you cannot reach Him. Can you put your hands up and see how short your hands are? Everybody put your hand up. That's the highest you can reach. So you can't reach any farther in life. Oh, he's trying to become. You can even stand up, but still be sure you won't be able to touch the same. When you hope stand up, I'll give you a stand. Oh, it's the highest man now, the longest arm. But see how it ends, because I can even reach it from the ground. But thank you for that. So you cannot reach any farther as yourself. But is it not amazing that God's hand is long enough to come down and find your short hand, to hold you and change you into something else that he wants really? Say amen. Amen. Because he can. He said, my hand is not shortened. And it is the potter's hand. So if he can change all these men, he can change you. So don't be ashamed of what happened to you. Whatever happened to you, happened for a reason. And you discover later when you are helping other people. Denying and hiding what happened to you does not help you. You are not broken beyond repair. You are not broken beyond repair. Nobody have told you that how many times. You can pick up your broken pieces of yourself and become a better person. Pick up those broken pieces. Did you see this man? I think it's Schwarzenegger. There's a movie made, there was a melting man. Did you see that? What's that movie? Schwarzenegger. Yeah, it was like Silver Man and Terminator. Okay. So I like when this man was beaten and with all these bazookas and these bullets, he made sure that I pick up every drop because when he misses one, that means the hand or some finger will be missing. So he picked, because sometimes they smashed him and the silver spread all over. But he made sure that he corrects every piece. Now, I shouldn't bring that an example, but you can understand. When you have been broken and you are in pieces, some of your children don't know where they are. You kind of got problems with them, and you can't meet them anymore. I'll never see you again. Get out of my life. Please go back and correct it. That is your life. That is part of your family. Go and correct that silver. It's part of you. Let there be family restoration. Amen. To those people that you have to say sorry, please recover from all those. As the Lord is going to use you, make sure you are able, and you can pick up those broken pieces for yourself and become a better person. The struggle for life doesn't end in the brokenness. Did you hear that? The struggle for life doesn't end in brokenness or damage, but continues beyond. Your life doesn't end in the brokenness or where you've been damaged. No, there's life beyond that. So, but I know men are slow to admit. Men are slow to admit that they are broken, that they need repair. He says, what he's talking about. I know men are very slow. Women agree quickly, but the men are not slow. What do you mean? I don't understand what you mean, but you know what I'm talking about. You know those areas I'm talking about. So, but the moment you accept, when you accept, one of they tell us that when you go for instance, we go for counseling. If you have HIV/AIDS, I'm not sure, you've gone for checking, they'll give you counseling. They give you counseling and they'll tell you, if you find HIV positive, one of the things they advise you to accept, when you say, no, it can't be me, then you are going to die sooner. But when you accept, it's part of the healing. You know what I mean? When you say, no, that's not me, no, I don't think I need that, I think I'm okay, because men know how to cover up. You see, I'm a man, I know what I mean. But when you accept, like David accepted, you see the difference between David and Saul, King Saul, the difference between these two kings. I think David committed more crimes, bigger crimes than Saul. Yeah. But the only difference, David is remorseful. Yeah. And he falls quickly and says, oh Lord, forgive me. Yeah. Saul will always give reasons. Yeah. I think you are, when this prophet came late, I think you are late, people were waiting for so long, so I had to give the offering. Oh, you shouldn't have done that. David says, oh Lord, forgive me. So acceptance is part of healing. So where are you broken? We turn there for something ugly into something beautiful. When you accept something that has been ugly, the life that has been ugly becomes beautiful immediately. And it becomes inspirational for other people. Every level of life will demand a new you. Every level of life will demand a new you. You know what I mean? But not without brokenness and repair. So we'll be built like, on every level. there was a slide, but I won't show it to you. I'll mute it after that next sentence. A woman asked her husband, can't we go back to the things how they used to be? Do you remember those days when you first had your wife and how you held her precious? The things that you told her, the things that you shared, and see where you are now. You realize that you need to be repaired. So this woman is saying, but I knew him. He used to be a good man. He used to speak to me wonderful words. See the way he's speaking to me now. We need to go back to that. When God uses people, he uses them where they hurt most in the past. Do you realize that? Where you were hurt most, that's where the Lord will use you. Because that will be the testimony to others. Okay? You know, like Aaron became now the greatest priest after failing. You know, that's very, very powerful. As we're going to pray, God uses the abused and the abuser. Did you hear that? Both. You see what amazing? Because he will only use the abused. Because they've been abused. The abuser will be punished. But God says, both of you come to me. So if you have been abused, God says, come. If you were the abuser, he said, come. Is he not an amazing God? Shout an amen. Come on.
Amen.
Yes. He's such a wonderful God that he can use the abuse and abuse the abuser. So right.
Let's just sit over there. We're going to check on food. Because we can. We don't need to have a spark. We don't have to finish at 5. Someone's reaching something because that's the women who like to go straight.
Okay.
So, you know.
Keep a little. Oh, go. Okay.
They'll leave it.
Yeah, we're going to pray. And if you have Q&A, if you have questions, you can as well ask. You can go into Q&A if there's anything you want to ask. Because I'm not standing here as an expert. I'm a man that constantly needs healing. Okay? So the thing is, God can use all these people. Is he not amazing God? Because you use one of these two, but he uses the abused. And the abused. That changed my life. I said, oh my God, what kind of God are you? Because at some point you abused somebody in one way or another. But in one way or another, you have also been abused. But God says, come to me. Come to me. And I'll make you. Come to me. That's the good thing with the Lord. I have a friend of mine in Wigan. He told me, he's a pastor. And he wrote to me telling me about the things that happened. They had a young man that was like a youth leader, and he kind of messed up with one of the girls, a 14-year. It's a long story, I won't tell it. But he was sentenced to 8 years in prison. 8 years. It's a long story. There are a lot of falsehoods and stuff, but he was sentenced to that. But now the government has written to the church. This young man would never, ever serve anywhere where there are children. Anywhere. For the rest of his life. Anywhere in Europe, America, maybe in Africa where we don't have those forensic, those kind of, but wherever he is, his details, his DBS has been sent everywhere in the world, and he cannot become a minister. I say this is not God. Because the people that are sentencing him into that and doing that to him have also abused others at some point, only that they were not caught. So he's such a talented man. As a young man, as a youth, he messed up, like everybody messes. But it doesn't mean that he's finished. Now he's a young man of about 21. For the rest of his life, the government has terminated his service. But where can you serve where there are no children? Where? And wherever he go, they will send a report. He has to report himself. If they find him and he has not reported himself that he's a pedophile, you'll be taken back to prison. So he has to report him everywhere he goes. And I say this is difficult. How is he going to come back to ministry? How is he going to serve? How is he going to be restored to normal? Because we have all failed and come short of God's glory, God's mark. But that will never happen to him. I said, God help. Jesus. It's very difficult. I think we are going to pray. These slides are so many. But we need to, as we come back to the Lord, we need to learn to control our anger. Our hunger. You know, Esau was stupid to give his birthright over hunger and lost his future permanently. Those uncontrolled desires of love, of money, sex, and power. Sometimes you make permanent decisions over temporary situations. What are those decisions that you've made that are permanent because of something temporary that happened? Now, government is making a permanent statement over this boy who committed something temporary. Who has not done that? Jesus said, all the Pharisees, they are there with all their robes, and they are holding stones to kill this woman. And Jesus said, come on, what kind of hypocrisy I see here? And because he saw their hearts and said, if you've never done this kind of thing, be the first to cast your stone. And all the policemen, and all the judges, and all the Pharisees, the clergymen, all were victims. Because, you know, when Jesus speaks, it's like he also sees you. There's a young man that went to heaven and saw Jesus, but he said, when you are about to lie to Jesus, then you see the whole truth in him. It just reflects. Because he was telling you the things he did on earth, and he wanted to change them. But the moment he was about to think about that, then he saw a reflection of what he did. There's no way he could defend himself. But then Jesus gave him an opportunity to come back to tell us that. So when Jesus said, whoever has not done this, be the first to cast a stone, immediately that reflected in their lives. Immediately everybody saw himself doing whatever they were hiding. And I don't think Jesus wrote anything on that. This is my thing. I don't think Jesus wrote anything on the ground. I don't think he did write anything really. If it was important, they would have read it. But the reason why Jesus, after saying that, he wrote down, the reason he did that was to let these dignitaries, these important people, to live without seeing them. So he pretended, Aaron, this is my way of thinking, he was writing something down, because when you lifted his head, everybody has disappeared. Because you don't want to disappear when Jesus said, look at you. Even you also living, even you the priest, and you the judge, you are also living, you also be doing these things. So he first away to give them a chance to escape. When he lifted it up, everybody has gone. How we all need to be treated and remolded. So don't make that permanent statement. If you've been here for a while, you know that we have all made stupid mistakes over something we should have avoided. All of us. There are things we should have avoided, but nevertheless we committed them. We all need that healing as men. Everybody here has done something some dumb mistakes. We all do stupid things over something, over somebody, but we can come before the Lord. Amen? We can come before him and he can help us. So, yeah. You look at this last, a lot of information there, but the biggest majority on earth never live their future because the past to them is more important than the future. If God has forgotten your past, don't dig it up. Don't dig it up. Talked about Saul's life. It is that what amazes me. What does God see in our lives? What did he see in this killer? What did he see in Moses? What did he see in Paul? You know, what is that? He saw the future. 3/4 of the New Testament were written by this man who was a killer, that they were made him a killer. If you've been asked to describe Saul, even now, you cannot, or Paul, you cannot describe him without mentioning the word murderer, but God never mentions that. He says he's a chosen vessel. And when we accuse them of the past, the murder, the life they've lived, then we kill them every day. So don't you ever accuse people. Tell them the things they've done. Don't remind your wife what he has done. Don't remind your children what they've done. I always tell my children what they are going to be. There's a pastor friend of mine, he has a son who was smoking weed, but he came to church. He used to come to church sometimes, and he was singing. Such a wonderful voice. And when this young man was singing, his father is a pastor, he was singing in his church, with their neighboring churches. So the pastor got the money to go up just to bless him, because he's done very well. But the way he was dancing and singing, was singing kind of worldly music in church. And he was mentioning the word name Jesus, but everything was so worldly, like the dancing, the jumping, and all the kind of things he was making. And his father was so excited and happy, and got some money to go and bless him while he was singing. And the other associate pastor said, see what he's doing, see the kind of music he's singing in church. And this father said, come on, I need to bless this. This is future pastor. He's doing wonderful things. His music is amazing. And it wasn't amazing. But what was happening? The father saw the future of this young man. And today, they've started a big branch somewhere in the suburbs of Kampala. And this young man is now the pastor. He has raised a very wonderful worship team. When he sings, the whole spirit just rides on his voice. But his father encouraged him. He used to call him pastor. He was smoking weed and say, hey, my pastor, come here. Can you go and help me do this, my pastor? And he was nowhere near being a pastor. But that's what his father saw. So don't you break other people's lives. Find young people and encourage them. Tell them what they are going to be. If you see anything good, that's what you should speak over them. Prophesy over your children. Prophesy. I always prophesy over my children, over my wife, over the people. I don't know how many children are now calling me father. And young people who have no fathers, mentors, I always speak to them life. I speak to them, I call upon their destiny and their future, and I speak to them and encourage them. You're wonderful, you can make it. There's one lawyer I've just met, I told her in about now probably 5-6 years, she came, she was desperate, she was abused by one of the big men, and she didn't know what to do. She was desperate, but immediately I saw a lawyer in her. I said, you know what? I can see a lawyer in you. Can you go back to the university? Do you qualify? Say, I qualify, but I don't have the money. I said, you can go. I don't have the money neither, but you are going back. I encourage her. And for some reason, went back to university, Macquarie University, our national university. In 1 year, she was given a scholarship to go and study in Denmark. In 1 year in Denmark, she was taken by another university in Sweden. And now she's come back to Denmark, and she's one of those greatest lawyers. Just by giving encouragement. Have you seen somebody broken up? If you find people that are broken, your young youth, young people, go and encourage them. Tell them to come to church. Our grandchildren, the people we meet on the way, people that we meet in our daily places of work, encourage them. Tell them what they can be. And then you can make great people out of them. Tell them to go back before the Lord. For that is what the Lord is saying. I can change Israel into something great. Thank you, Jesus. I'm going to ask you to stand up. We are going to pray for each other. Jesus. The message is going back to the Lord. This is what the message gave me for this men's kind of seminar conference today. That for those men that have been broken or thought God had finished with them, or they thought you could not be any better, God says you can be better. You can change your family. Your family can be remolded. You can become great. You can reach out to nations. You can be useful. You are not a waste. Not at all. And you don't have to go to the university to do PhD or do masters or something to become great before the Lord. All you need is to go back to the University of God, where He remolds. And He will rework around your life. Your family is redeemable. Your children are redeemable. I remember there's a reverend that came to our meetings and said, there's a daughter that really annoyed him and could not represent the family of a reverend. And she was chased away. And the father said, I'll never talk to you again. You are a total mess. You've given a bad reputation to our Christian family. But after we spoke, he went outside and rang his daughter and said, my daughter, I'm sorry. Come back to me. Because what you committed is not the worst. Now I know, come back, and that daughter is restored. We can restore our families, can restore our lives. But I've also known that men, at some level, you pray and don't believe in yourself anymore. Because you still believe, maybe I'm not good to God. Will He hear me? And this is what I'm saying. I want you to hold the hand of your neighbor. You are going to pray for him. Pray for that friend. Find, somebody you can pray with. I want you to pray for each other for healing. Those men you see, they look well, because when you come to church, you put on church faces. But the thing is, you're broken and cracked inside. And men always cover it up, because men are slow to admit. But when they're alone, that's why there are more men committing suicide than women. Because we cover up our issues, and sometimes you cannot handle. We go into the cave and hide there. But then we are dying. That man you're holding needs prayer. I want you to raise your voice. Now, if you hold like that, I don't know who are you going to pray for. Because you don't know. Are you praying the one on the left? Or, now, if you hold two tools, you should be able to pray for each other.